Hey guys, welcome to a new video. So I just sat down to finish off this painting here with some mark making, and I thought, why not press record and just hang out with you guys for a bit while I do it and sort of explain what I mean when I keep saying that I let the watercolour tell me where to add the marks. So I've got all my supplies here with me. This is my handmade Arrtx watercolour sketchbook, and I don't have many pages in here now at all, and I'm just working my way through them. And I've got my Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolours, which is what I used to create this. I'm going to pop the colour palette that I used on the screen here so you can have a look at that, and if you want to try this colour palette out for yourself or use it, you can find that on my Instagram. It's under the seasonal spice colour palettes on my Instagram page. So let's tell you which colours I used for this if you're interested in trying this yourself. So I used number 16 Ecru Beige, and this is a mixture of the Gansai Tambi from both my 24 Art Nouveau set and also my 48, just the big set of Gansai Tambi. So we've got, I guess that should be here, 16 Ecru Beige. We've got 501 Pea Green, one of my most used colours. 58 Sap Green Deep, 50 Malachite, Malachite, I call it Malachite, but I don't think it's called that. This is my favourite colour in the entire Gansai Tambi range. I love it. And then we've got 57 Turquoise Green Deep. So these are the colours I used to create this. This page, I don't know if I'm going to actually talk you through how I'm going to do the mark making on here, because I think I'm just going to do a load of gold dots in the background. So I think perhaps what I'll do is do a time lapse of this and add it to the end of this video, so you can just see how I did it and just, you know, I don't know, enjoy the process, I guess. But I won't do any talking, I'll just add some music over that. I've got some mark making tools here. Now these are the mark making tools that I use in pretty much all of my abstract art that I've been doing, and that is 2 Posca pens, and I mostly use oh, tangled up. I mostly use this size, so this is the PC 1M, and it's the 0.7mm, the bullet shaped nib. So I love these and I use these quite a lot. Just making sure you've got that in shot there. Yeah, I use these all the time. I love them. So these are nice for like a little bit thicker line. I mean, if you wanted an even thicker line, then you could use the bigger Posca pens, but I don't tend to use them too much because I like my abstract art to look a little bit more delicate, I think. I've also got these Arrtx Gel Pens. I really love these. They are the Arrtx Bold Point 1mm, 1.0mm gel pens in gold, white and silver, and I haven't used the silver hardly at all. I don't tend to be drawn to silver marks. I really do like gold though, and I love the gold ink in this gel pen. The reason I love these gel pens so much, and I've said it about it in previous videos, is the fact that usually when I'm trying to do lines with my other gel pens, like the Jelly Roll for instance, which I've got here, you'll find that I find that the Jelly Roll will like skip over the paper, especially when working on a cold press paper. So like you'll get like broken lines and it won't just make a nice straight line without any breaks in it, whereas the Arrtx gel pen is way more juicy and you can get a really nice line with these. Also got this gel pen as well, actually, not gel pen, Posca pen. This is also 0.7mm. Oh, so are they the same then? Oh, I didn't even know this. So we've got, they're both 0.7mm nibs, but this has got like a little pen nib on it, whereas this one has got the bullet tip. Interesting. I didn't know that until now. I keep opening the pens over the paper and I know that one day I'm going to have an accident because the ink's going to come out everywhere. but I don't tend to like using this one that much. The final pen that I've got to do some mark making with is my Micron pens. I really love these for doing really delicate lines, and yeah, I guess that's all I've got to say about these. But I do love a Micron pen. I think they're lovely pens, and something a little bit more delicate than, say, the Posca pen, because sometimes you can have like blotchy marks with these, and you don't get that with the Micron pens. But when using Micron pens on the Gansai Tambi paints, they can sometimes get really clogged up, and they can struggle to make marks at all. And the Posca pens don't do that. But I don't think I'm going to have a problem on this, because I've managed to do nice light layers where the paints have not gone all shiny and thick and sticky. So I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that at all on this paper, but we shall see. So another thing that I'm going to want to do, I'm going to just wet these paints a little bit, just in case I want to use them again for any mark making. I just use this little pipette for that. It's one of my favourite little tools. What I might want to do as well, or what I am going to do, should I say, is use this little paintbrush and do some little circles and decorative pieces on this piece as well. So let me show you what I have been inspired by to create this painting, and that is this book. It's Creative Abstract Watercolour by Essoldo Design, which is Kate Rebecca Leach is her name, and I've recommended this book in my last video, and I will recommend it forever. It's probably like just the best watercolour book if you're into abstracts or watercolour art at all, really. Even if you're not necessarily into abstracts, just the way she teaches you how to create the most amazing effects and mark making with watercolours and mixed media is absolutely amazing. So where is the page that I've been inspired by? Here it is. So Soothing Scallops. And yeah, so as I said, I've already done the watercolour part, and my colour palette's not too far off of hers actually. But now I'm going to get inspired to create some marks. So I'm just going to have a little look at some of the marks that Kate has done on her version. And you can see we've done, hoping you can see, on this part, she's used a darker colour teardrop shape on there, which I quite like. I also like how she's done the little dots with a darker colour on some of those as well. So I haven't got any plans. I am just going to show you how I let the watercolour inspire me. So one thing I really love about doing abstract watercolours is creating blooms of paint. I've done it a little bit on here as well with different the different leaf shapes, and I've let the red watercolour like disperse out into the yellow, and I've done a bit of the lifting technique here. So I do really love to create blooms with my watercolour, and that is how I let the watercolour then tell me where I should add my marks into. And I don't always do this, but I do quite a lot. And this, I haven't actually been inspired by anything, I don't think. Sometimes I sit down to paint at night and I've got no idea what I'm going to do, and I just let the just go with the flow basically. And for some reason this come to me last night, and this was using this colour palette, which I shall pop on the screen. And what I've been enjoying doing is sort of using the main subject for the colour palette and then adding in something really different for the background. And this paint that I use for the background is unbelievable. It's the Daniel Smith Hematite Genuine paint, and look at that, the textures and stuff on there. It's like completely just incredible. It feels like much more of like a graphite paint, and it feels really textured as well. So this is the front side of an Arrtx cold pressed watercolour paper, and this is the back side. So the back side is definitely a little bit more smoother than the front side, although they do both have texture on them still. But just with the texture, and I was dropping some water in on this and adding more darker mass tone of the Hematite Genuine on here as well, and it's just created just the most amazing effect. And I'm really looking forward to just sitting down later on and adding gold dots into all the darkest areas. I can see it now. It's going to look amazing. At least I think so anyways. But let's get into adding in some marks on here. So the blooms. This here is amazing. I love letting the watercolour dry as much as possible without it being too dry, and then adding in a drop of water and just watching the colour disperse out like this. It just creates incredible effects. So just trying to think where I want to add my marks in now. So I think I'll get started with some white dots, because that's always a great way to get started for me. So give this a good shake up. A really good tip is to not open your pen over your paper, and also not, when you do the little pump in for this, I'm just going to get a piece of kitchen towel. This is so dirty, but I'm keeping it for collage purposes, if I ever get back into collage purposes. Yeah, there we go. So it's good to pump your pen on something that's not your artwork, because I have seen some disasters with that, when you get a great big blob of paint all over your artwork. So we don't want that today. So I'm trying to think what it is that I want. And I thought if I pressed record today, then perhaps it would make me get to the point a little bit quicker, but that's not actually happening. Okay, here's where I want my white dots. I'm going to go for the dark green areas here, and then I'm going to do white dots on there. So let's get started with that. I do love using these Posca pens for white dots. And I'm going to use the darkest areas to add my white dots and let it gently disperse out into the lighter area. So I don't want dots all over the place on here. I only want it on the darkest area of green. More dots when it's the darkest, and less dots when it hits the lightest areas. I'll just add a few more around the edge here, and we'll move on to the next one. There we are. And I'm not thinking too much about this at all, really, because otherwise I'll get into like this groove where I'm like, I want every single scallop to be absolutely perfect, and that is not what I really want to go for, especially not in this sketchbook, because I've been using this sketchbook as just a way to completely experiment and let go of my watercolour paintings, and just to experiment with different marks, and then I can flip through this book then and just be inspired by all the different marks that I've made, and use my paintings from in here to inspire different paintings. I usually would say I would use the paintings in here and the marks to inspire bigger pieces, but at the moment I'm not even interested in creating bigger pieces. I just am so obsessed with creating sketchbook art. I really do enjoy it. I'm feeling so grateful today. I just thought I would talk to you a little bit about this while we're doing these dots, because it can get a bit tedious. I feel like I can't believe the direction that everything has actually gone for me now. And I'm finally monetized here on YouTube. I am creating or building a really lovely community on here and on Instagram as well. Once upon a time, when I was like little Amber doing her pet portraits, thinking this can't be it for my art, you know, like I knew how lucky I was that I was able to get pet portrait commissions all the time, and I was just wondering why I was not enjoying my art at all. It was making me really miserable, to be honest. And I always knew that I wanted to have a YouTube channel, but I never really made the steps to create one for myself. And I always like put it off and procrastinated and thought I wasn't good enough to have my own YouTube channel. And then I don't know what happened, but I guess this time last December, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And here we are. And I just feel like I've actually never been happier. Yeah, it sounds a bit squishy saying it. What was the word that I'm looking for? Cheesy. Squishy. Sounds like I'm being a little bit cheesy or soppy, but yeah, I just can't believe it today when I've looked and like I've reached 1,800 subscribers and all my analytics are looking good on my YouTube channel, and I'm like proper obsessed with analytics, not necessarily subscribers, but just like how my videos are performing. And although more subscribers is lovely because that means my community here is being built bigger, and I really do appreciate that. And I look at my Amazon affiliate links and see that people are buying things through my affiliate links, and like all of a sudden it just feels like, wow, I'm actually building something here and something that I've always wanted. So I'm just so grateful today, and I really do thank you. If you're watching this video, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. There's nothing I love more than art and talking about it, and I can't even sleep at night sometimes because all I can think about is new video ideas. Like just recording the mark making part of this video come to me last night while I was supposed to be going to sleep, and I just thought, oh, that would be such a good idea to record this and talk you through my mark making process. But I don't know if this is going to be a good video or not, but I'm going to put it out there anyways, and you can let me know whether you think it's a good video. So I thought what I would do is all the dark green areas everywhere, I'm just going to add dots because I'm going to make this easy for everybody. Because otherwise, as I said, I could just think about where I'm going to put the perfect placements of things all day long. So if we just say the dark green areas are going to have dots, even if it's next to other dark green areas. I usually don't like to do two things next to each other, like this is going to be next to that one, but let's just see how it looks. Something with this sketchbook is I haven't once been like hung up on, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that, it's such a shame, I really don't like this. And usually I would start a sketchbook, do a painting that I don't like, and then get so upset and angry about it I never look at that sketchbook again. And that is something that I've truly let go of this year. The problem is I've got so many sketchbooks on the go at once that it's been hard to actually get any of them finished. But my goal for 2024 was to get at least one sketchbook finished, and this 100% this one is going to be finished, and I'm hoping to get my little art creations one finished as well, but I can't really see it, to be honest. That's the goal, but I haven't gone back to this sketchbook, just where I've been really enjoying my watercolours so much. But at least I'll get this one finished. And I do need to make myself another one of these soon, so I'm going to record the process and share it with you here on YouTube, because I've had a few people ask for how I made this sketchbook, so that's what I shall be doing. Where else shall we do some dots? The dark green areas, dark green. Would that be classed as dark green there? No, because if that's classed as dark green, then that's classed as dark green, and I don't want to have a complete line full of just dots. So my next idea is to grab, because I want this to dry and then I can do some gold on top. So I've got my jars of water off to the side here. If that's what you're wondering what I'm doing here, that's what I'm doing. Just wetting my brush a little bit. And I'm going to use the turquoise green, the dark turquoise green, in quite a thick consistency. And I think what I'm going to try and do, if I go, I don't even know if you can see this, but I want to do like some sort of decorative thing. Don't really know what, but almost like a chandelier. That does look like a proper scallop or scallop. Scallop. Now. Oh, sometimes I feel like I actually need lessons on my own language. Just going to move this a little bit to make it easier for myself. Okay, so I kind of wish I would have done one of these turquoise green ones down here so I could like balance it all out a little bit nicer, because at the moment we've got 3 here and then 2 here, but we haven't really got any over here, and I don't want to do one here. Oh, oh dear. I don't want to do one here because then them two will be next to each other, and I just don't want it. I'm always thinking about composition and like just how to make everything nicely balanced, you know? But also, I don't let myself get hung up on anything. So I wonder if I could do... I'm just having a look at Kate's book now just to see if I can gather any more inspiration. So perhaps what I could do is use this beautiful colour. Usually I would mix this a little bit in a palette actually, which I do have here, just so you don't get any like big lumps or anything on your paper. I didn't used to do this. I didn't used to actually mix them in a palette, but once I started doing it, then I realised like how much better it was just to take the extra time. You get a nice even consistency. So let's do almost like leopard print shapes on this one. Don't know if I'm going to like this. Even paintings that I don't necessarily like, I still like because I'm always learning from them. So like, even if you don't like what you've created, you can still look at it and be like, well, I do like this part and I don't like this part and I won't do that part again. But I think that's just what I've learned to love about art recently, is like not all paintings have to be the best thing you've ever created. You can create bad art and that is just as important as creating the good art. I do quite like that actually. So we'll do that again over here, although I don't think you're going to see it very well, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to add some gold or black to these leopard print spots at the end when it's all dried. Not there, but we'll do... I don't think you're going to see them here, so I might not put it there. I'll do another one here. Or shall I? Here. I'm going to do it. Even though you can't really see it. in the book, Kate says that it's good to sometimes leave some of the scallops with nothing on, because the watercolour just speaks for itself, and it's nice to have a break in between ones with lots of different pattern on. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to give them all a little bit of character and bedazzle. I hate that word. I don't know why I just said that. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. It does look pretty good, actually. I think it's going to dry a little bit lighter, but this is the good thing with the Gansai Tambi, is you can use it in a thicker consistency, and it does almost look like gouache. So it is like a really thick and opaque watercolour paint. So what else can I do here? Perhaps we can, I know I want to, are they dry yet? Dries really quickly. I'm gonna do, I know I want to do gold on here like this, gold dots. This is gonna look really nice. I love using gold. So for these darker turquoise scallops, I could have done what I usually would do, and that is let the watercolour tell me where to put the dots and stuff, or the marks, and use the blooms. So I could have done what I did with the green scallops and done dots on the darkest areas and then leave the lightest areas lighter, or I could have done something else where I would have done like swirls in the lightest blooms there. But you don't always have to do that. You can let the underneath blooms sort of show through what you're doing on top, so that adds an extra layer of interest. I'm just going to add these dots. There's nothing I love more than taking the tape off at the end and seeing just how amazing it all looks, because sometimes you think that you might not be finished with something, and as soon as I get to the point where I think, oh, I'm not sure if I want to add anything else, then I'll take the tape off, and that will tell me then, like, do I want to add anything else or not? Because sometimes things just don't look quite finished when you've still got the tape on the edge, but they actually are. So I think I want to add some black now. I'm going to do some black dots, I think, and I shall do them on these lightest ones, so it's going to really show up and pop. So I think I'm going to do a row. I keep touching the wet paint. I always do this. Not patient enough to let it dry. So I'm going to do a row around the bottom with the black Posca pen. Or 2 rows. Let's do 2 rows. Okay, so I just have a few more scallops left with nothing on them. This one, this one. So what shall I do next, I wonder? I could just leave them. They all do look quite nice without something, but I don't want to. I want to do a little bit more of the dark sap green. So what's this called? 58 sap green deep. What about if I just did some little dots, but with green? Add a little bit more water. I don't think you can see my palette here, but I do just have this palette that I'm just blending out that colour a little bit in. So let's do some smaller dots that we can then perhaps do a smaller dot even more inside. Oh, I've just realised. I bet you realised this before I did. Didn't do a double line here. If that was me and I was watching this video, I'd be like screaming at the screen like, you forgot a line. So let's do some little polka dots. And by the way, I've gone on about the pet portraits quite a bit on this channel now, and the reason for that is just because I didn't used to enjoy doing the sort of realistic art version of pet portraits where I would use my coloured pencils and take hours and hours, sometimes, you know, 10, 20, 50 hours on certain portraits. And that's what I didn't like about them and doing art. I'm actually going to be doing a portrait as a gift for someone for Christmas. I'm not going to say who, because they might watch this video. But I'm going to record the process and share it with you guys. And I'm going to do like a really expressive, splashy watercolour painting. I've done some like it before. If I can find some pictures quick, I shall pop them on the screen. And yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it, actually, recording the process and sharing it with you guys. So if you're interested in doing any pet portraits in like a more expressive watercolour style with a little bit of pencil perhaps for details, then make sure to subscribe, and I look forward to sharing that with you guys. I'm not sure when it's going to be. Probably around the beginning of January, I should think, because I don't want to post it on YouTube until I've given it as a gift. But I don't not like doing pet portraits. I love animals, and I love painting pets and animals when I'm in the mood. So I am quite looking forward to creating this portrait, but I don't plan on spending 10, 20, 50 hours on it. Maybe 10, I'll see. It all depends how long it takes me, I guess. I guess when I say what I say about the pet portraits and how I was a bit miserable doing them, what I mean is I just knew I wasn't doing the art that I was meant to be doing, and commissions and stuff. I don't really enjoy the pressure of commissions. I don't really do well under pressure, although recently I've been putting myself under a little bit of pressure by getting 2 YouTube videos a week out, but that's like the best kind of pressure, because it's literally I'm creating art that I want to create for those videos, or for these videos, and sitting here talking to you guys about the art that I absolutely love is just like the best thing ever. So it's a good kind of pressure. Okay, I do keep putting my hand in this in this gel pen, so I'll fix that in a minute. I think what I'm going to do quick is just turn this around if I can, because otherwise I'm going to make a major mess. So they all have some sort of pattern on them now, except for this one. So I'm not really sure what to do on here. Actually, what shall I do on there? Shall I do its own thing, or I might just do the black dots, I think, because then it will balance the picture out nicely. There we go. So, final touches now. If I wasn't recording this, I probably would have done things a little bit differently and just done a bit different shapes and perhaps thought about where I was going to put things a little bit more, but I'm glad that I didn't, because this means that I've got this picture done, and it would have took me much longer if I if I wasn't recording, and yeah, I'm quite happy that I didn't. So I want to put more gold on somewhere else. I'm going to do gold dots on the middle of these little polka dots, but I want them to dry a little bit more first. And I think on these I'm going to do white on the inside. So I'm going to grab my smaller Arrtx gel pen. I'm going to show you what I mean by how it doesn't skip over the paper. You just get a really nice continuous line with these. I'm going to do white on the inside, and I might do black on the outside. I don't actually know if these are all dry or not, but I think this video could also be a little bit longer than I expected already. But it's been really nice to just sit, and although you're not here with me in my studio, I definitely feel like you are when I'm talking like this. I always make my husband put his headphones on in the other room while I'm recording videos like this, because I actually get really embarrassed, because it's funny how you sit here and it's like you're talking to yourself, but you're actually not. I'm talking to you. But to him, he just kind of laughs at me, I think. So I do get a little embarrassed. Right, we're going to do some gold dots in here. Oh, that one wasn't really dry, but that's okay. These paints do dry really quickly, but not quickly enough for my patience. I'm really liking this. They're still quite wet at the moment, so I'm going to leave that just a second while I go in around the edge of these and add some black in. So I've got my 01 Micron Fineliner, and this is quite a thin line, and we're going to see if it actually works or if it gets all clogged up by the thicker paint that I put down. I think it might be alright. Don't want this to be perfect. I don't want anything to ever be perfect anymore. That was probably another reason why I didn't really enjoy my pet portraits very much, because I was an absolute perfectionist, and the thought of somebody saying to me that they didn't like what I had done made me feel sick. The only thing I will say about these Arrtx pens is the ink does take a little while to dry, so just be aware of that, because and don't do me, you know, like I put it down and then instantly smudge it all over the place by putting my hand in it. So are these dry enough yet? Yes. And this is the final thing I'm going to do, I think. I'll evaluate as soon as I've done this. Okay. Put my hand in something else there. Oh God. Okay. Let's have a look. I could definitely put something else on here with the black dots, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as it is and see what it looks like when I take the tape off. So let's see. This is just washi tape that I use on this paper. If you're having a problem with your tape ripping your paper, it could very well be the paper that you're using. So I've never actually had an issue with my Arrtx paper ripping, whether I use masking tape or if I use washi tape. But I've got a Handmade sketchbook, the 100% cotton sketchbook, and it doesn't matter what I use on there, even if it's the lowest tack washi tape that I've got, it rips the paper and it's so annoying. But I don't have a problem with this. Oh, so satisfying. And if you're wondering if you can use the back side of Arrtx watercolour paper, you absolutely can, because that is what this is on. Could definitely reuse this as well, actually, the washi tape, so I think I will. That bit's still quite intact and it's really sticky on the back still, so I'll probably use that for another page. Okay, I'm loving it. I love the colour palette for this. It's so nice. And there we have it. One finished painting with marks that I really like, actually. I love this and I also love this as well. I think this is my favourite scallop on here, this one and this one. So yeah, I think that's it then for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me while I finished off this painting. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. And if you created some art while you were watching, then let me know what you were working on. So I'd really love to know, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave you now with a time lapse of me finishing off this painting. So I hope you enjoy that, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because I've got so many different things coming up on this channel in the next few weeks. 2 videos a week for December and perhaps even in January as well. So I guess that's it then, guys. I shall see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.